Hi everybody, my name is Jim with Full Moon Adventure Club, and I'm excited because today we're testing my new favorite battery. These are from Lion Energy. They are UT1300 lithium iron phosphate batteries with 105 amp hours of capacity. And we're going to be putting those to the test by putting 5 amps of draw on them and then taking a picture a minute so we can count up the minutes on my camera and tell exactly how long they last. We're also going to have a Victron battery monitor with a shunt that's going to tell us exactly how many amp hours we got out of it and how much we're drawing and a lot of other good information. So it'll be a double whammy test to really get the accurate numbers here. And what I'm going to do to get the 5 amps of draw is just turn on a bunch of stuff that you would normally be using in your RV. So I'm going to have on the RV stereo that has a little pop-up LCD display, like a little TV. And then also a 12-volt oscillating fan. And then I'm going to go around and click on a whole bunch of LED lights until I get to 5 amps. I think it ended up being around 9 LED lights on. To get that, I'm going to measure all of this with a voltmeter and also the Victron battery monitor to make sure that we're really as close to 5 amps as possible, and then start that test. So why don't I show you the setup, and then we'll put up the timer and go for the test. Okay, so I've taken out my other batteries and I've installed these Lions UT1300s in parallel. I love that feature. So now we can start experimenting. Okay guys, I tried to calibrate everything as closely as I possibly can here. If we look down here, we're showing 4.9 amps on this guy. So very, very close to 5 amps. And then just to double check, I connected a voltage meter here, amp meter, and we're showing 5.06 amps. And that guy is running all the power from the RV right now. You can see it's the only thing connecting the battery cables. So we are right there. As close to 5 amps as I can possibly get us. So this is where we're going to run the test with everything just the way it is. And we're going to start the clock. So I'm going to start that timer, and as you can see on the Victron battery monitor, it says we're using 4.9 amps. But as you just saw a second ago, using the voltmeter, we were drawing 5.09 amps. So between the two, as close as I could possibly get it. And we're going to let that guy run. You do have an amp hour counter right here. I'll put a little arrow there so you can see which one that is. And what's going to happen here, I'm also taking a picture a minute so we can double check all these numbers in a second. We're going to end up getting to 41.3 hours, which is 41 hours and 18 minutes. And as you can see, I'm slowing it all down right now so you can kind of see we're at 41 hours and we're getting closer to 18 minutes. And boom, everything shut down. The battery monitor turned off, all the lights turned off. So that's exactly what we got. 4 hours, 18 minutes, which is a really impressive test. If you looked at the Victron battery monitor right at the end, the amp hours that it said we used was 209, and they promised 210, so that's incredibly accurate. Right on the money for that, which I really, really like. And then as far as the pictures are concerned, to double check all this information, we got 2,478 frames from my camera. If you divide that by 60 minutes, you get 41.3. So that's exactly accurate. Very, very cool. For comparison, I had Green Life batteries and they were both 100 amp hours a piece, so that's 200. I only ever got 180 hours out of those guys. And when I did this exact same test, I got around 36 hours. And these are 41.3, almost right on the money at 42, because if you take 210 amp hours divided by 5 amps, you get 42. So, I mean, these could not have been closer to getting exactly what you pay for. These are smaller than my Green Life batteries, and they also have a really nice display on top, which I like, because that's really handy for van lifers and stuff like that, so you don't need expensive battery monitoring equipment, like a battery shunt and all that stuff. Otherwise, it's very hard to monitor how much battery you have left with lithiums because the voltage stays so close to the same all the way through their cycle. So with this, now you can just push a button and you can tell how much of your battery you have left just sitting in your van or your RV without having expensive monitoring equipment. So I think that's a really cool feature. They also will guarantee this battery for 3,500 life cycles. And draining it completely dead and all the way up is 1 cycle. If you did that every day, that's 9.6 years of use, which is crazy. And at the end of that time, they're not even dead. They're just at 80% capacity. So you can still get 80 amp hours out of them after 9.6 years of using them every single day, incredibly hard. They will take 150 amp hours of draw out of each battery. I ran a 15,000 BTU air conditioner on my RV off these guys, and it ran them for 3 hours. I'll put a link to that video up top if you want to check that out. But you can also charge them at 100 amp hours a piece. That means you could charge one of these batteries in an hour as opposed to 6 or 8 with a lead acid battery, because you have to go through bulk, absorption, and float. These you can just pump energy into until they're completely full and ready to go again. So I'm absolutely loving these batteries. If you want to check them out, please go to Lion Energy. I'll put a link down below so you can kind of check them out. My name is Jim with Full Moon Adventure Club. I hope you found this test helpful. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. And until the next video, thank you so much for watching, and happy camping.